Hi, my name is Josue Batista. I am a business and technology healthcare strategist. Welcome to this segment of What and Why First. In a previous article and video, I shared news about being invited as a speaker to the 2018 PMI-KSA Project Management Symposium in Riyadh. In this segment, I'm sharing with you the highlights of my trip and the experiences I had in Saudi Arabia. I left home Sunday, December 16th at 3 p.m. local time and arrived in Riyadh Monday at 6:30 p.m. local time or 9:30 a.m. in Pittsburgh. There is a plus 8-hour time difference. I stayed at the Crown Plaza RDC Hotel. The hotel's decorations and theme are quite contemporary, with high ceilings, spacious halls, artful illumination, and delightful paintings strategically placed throughout. The venue for the symposium was adjacent to the hotel. It was magnificent. Since I arrived early, I had the opportunity to meet some of the organizers and volunteers, especially the PMI-KSA President, Engineer Nabila Al-Tunisi, and the CEO of the Advisors Group, Dr. Saadi Adra. The opening ceremony began a bit late because the organizers had their hands full. About 300 people registered for the event, and more than 600 showed up that morning. My first presentation, Blockchain and 7 Emerging Technologies That Are Changing the World, went well. Although the lunch break was right after my presentation, many attendees stayed after to continue the conversation. Both days of the symposium, lunch at the Mosaic restaurant was a feast of authentic Middle Eastern cuisine and a kaleidoscope of colors, texture, aromas, flavors, and amazing table conversation with other attendees. The evening of Tuesday 18th, Engineer Majid Al-Nuhaimesh was gracious enough to invite me for coffee so we could continue the interesting conversation we started after the presentation that morning. We went to the Boulevard Riyadh, a popular spot with shops, cafes, and fast eateries. We sat near a gas heater at a more traditional cafe, and for the next couple of hours, Engineer Majid and I had one of the most enlightening discussions about technology, innovation, industrial versus technology revolutions, digital health, the human mind, artificial intelligence, and the future of Saudi Arabia from a technology and innovation perspective. The second day of the symposium was quite busy. I had my second presentation, Key Implication of Blockchain and Distributed Ledger Technologies for Project Management Professionals, with great attendance, questions, and comments. In addition to my 2 presentations, I was asked to be the moderator of a panel discussion with panelists Dr. Sami Kamel from General Electric and Mr. Ayub Hussein from PricewaterhouseCoopers. The panel topic was Opportunities and Challenges with Disruptive Technologies. It was a great discussion, and I learned a great deal from the 2 expert panelists. The event concluded on Thursday at 4:30 p.m. with a wonderful recognition ceremony. I will always treasure the moment and the plaque I received from Engineer Nabila Al-Tunisi. Thursday was my last day in Riyadh. Over the years, I have found that for me, the best way to understand and appreciate local cultures is by visiting their marketplaces. So I decided to venture out on my own and visit a couple of local markets that I was recommended. A traditional Saudi market called Ubai's Market, and I also visited the Hyatt Mall, a contemporary large mall with a supermarket called Danube. I liked the Danube supermarket the most because I was able to buy local fruits, fresh baked brick oven bread, the most delicious hummus I ever had, cheeses, and especially the olives. The morning of Friday, December 20th, I was ready for my trip to the airport at 3:30 a.m. local time. Same itinerary, Riyadh to Amman to Chicago, then Chicago to Pittsburgh. During my trip back, I read the first 12 chapters of the book The Human Mind by Michio Kaku. That book was a recommendation from Engineer Majid, and I highly recommend it to you as your next reading. My trip back to the States was without any issue until I arrived in Chicago. There were at least 500 people in line at the immigration center in the airport, with only 3 agents working. They added one more by the time I went through, but I still missed my flight to Pittsburgh. I was one of the lucky ones to get a seat on the next flight, landing in Pittsburgh around 10:30 p.m. I was glad to be back home after such a great adventure. I extend my thanks to the PMI-KSA leadership team for the magnificent opportunity I have to attend and present at the 2018 PMI-KSA Symposium. The event was so well organized, the Crown Plaza was an impressive venue, and everyone worked hard to make the symposium a success. This was my first trip to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and I had a memorable time. The genuine hospitality, generosity, and friendliness that I experienced from every person I met during my stay in Riyadh made all the difference. I also want to thank each one of you for your loyalty and goodwill throughout the year. I wish all of you a wonderful, healthy, productive, and prosperous 2019. Until next time, cheers!